Okay, so this is part 2. Well, maybe a few clips in between, but here's where I am so far with it. So I got the Fight Like a Girl, and I'm in the process of doing the bottom. That's her name. Unique. Got a little emblem. So as you can see, I have a football from the dollar store. And I took a plunger from the dollar store, a stick, screwed it into the bottom of the football. And this is what I use to spin as I apply bling. Okay, so here's where we are so far. Right now I am using, these are called flatback foil opal glass rhinestones. They are 5mm or SS20. I'm using my liquid fusion glue that I put inside of these little tubes, and I use just a regular safety pin to plug the cap. These come with little precision tips on them, but I find that I don't know if you can see it, the little hole of the tip is just the size I need it to be. And then in between uses, I just plug it with a, um, oh gosh, I can't see this close up, a safety pin, and that keeps it from drying out. I am using, you can use a katana, that's the fancy picker pin, and I pretty much just use these. You can sharpen them. It's like a little tip on it that has wax, and you can sharpen them and make a nice point to it, but as I'm using it, I can just keep on going, and they're really long like pencils, so you have a whole lot of opportunity to use it. And then every so often I'll just go like this because the glue dries on the tip, and I'll use my fingernail to scrape it, and it just picks up the bling easier. Of course, my handy dandy glasses with a light on it, and they're magnifying glasses, and you have the light right here that gives you extra lighting, and the glasses that you can see. It flips up, put it out your way, flips down, so you can see what you're doing, because you know these rhinestones can take you out. So tonight I'm just going to do a couple of rows to show you. So I just pretty much take a line and see if you can see that. But I just kind of twist it as I go. Try to do a thin line as possible. You can see that line that I put on there. All right. And I'll make several lines because I fill in this whole space. I go from one side to the other. And I would be able to show you what I'm using. I'm using this little dish of stones. You shake it, and it kind of flips your stones for you so that you can get to them. And you just pick up one and you place it. Now I try to stay in the honeycomb method. Honeycomb method basically is when you try to put a row and then you go to put the next one right up against the one in between the spaces of the ones below it. So it kind of makes this pattern. So every other row is a row, and then you stick the next row in between the two. See, so these two go in between these two, and you just keep going like that. So I'm going to try to do this backwards for you, just to do a couple. And you just kind of tap them into place. Make them tight as you can make them. And keep working your way around. Now, of course, I'm doing this angle because I'm trying to show you, but normally I wouldn't hold it backwards like this. Normally, I hold it like this. I don't know if you can see me while I'm working. Let me turn it just a little bit. Now, and I get to the end, as you can see, there's a space right there. So I do have smaller size stones to fit into those little spaces, but there's no glue in there. Hold on. Little tiny dot of glue in that section. Oh, this one. I didn't have my light on. I can't even see the glue coming out. Now, typically when I am gluing, and I know it took a long time for me to do that, but typically I'll put the safety pin in the bottle and leave the bottle tilted downwards like this, so that when I'm ready to use it, it's already down to the tip. But anyway, I have really tiny stones too. These are like 3mm. They're really small. And I'll put it inside that little space just to fill it. Now, one thing I learned is you have to embrace the gaps. Don't worry about filling them all the way up. Now, this one can take 2 little stones. If you can see, there's a little bit more space right there. And I'm going to put this little stone in the other little space. And so there is the filled in gap. Now, you'll see these little gaps right here. I'm not going to worry about that, because from a distance, you can't even tell the difference. So I will come back at the end when I'm finished filling it all the way in and show you the finished product.